everyone, it's Andrea from the Wauseon Public Library, and today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely Halloween decoration. She is made out of cardstock and paper. What you'll need for this craft is the kit that you'll pick up from the library that has everything in it that you need. You'll also need some school glue, and sometimes for some of the smaller pieces it's nice to have a little paintbrush to put the glue on the smaller pieces. This is how my friend, I call her Glenda, can sit on your table, or if you want to get super decorative, you can grab a bottle, just like so, and she can sit on there like this. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to put this Halloween decoration together. We're going to start, we have two pieces of our witch. The white one is a cardstock, and the black one is a piece of construction paper. The cardstock gives our craft some more stability so that it can stand up better than just having a piece of construction paper. I'm just checking to make sure it aligns correctly before I start, and I'm also making sure that I have the two pieces going the same direction because you wouldn't want to put the glue on the wrong side. And you don't need a lot of glue, so I'm just going to take my brush and spread it all over the white cardstock. Once you have all the glue on your cardstock, you're going to take your black piece of construction paper and just lay it on top. At first, you don't have to worry about precision because the glue is wet enough. You should be able to move the piece of construction paper around on the cardstock to make sure that you line it up correctly. It's important to line it up just right so that you don't have too much white showing over on your edges for your finished witch. You're going to smooth it out, make sure there's no little bumps. And there you have your finished cardstock witch, and we're going to lay her aside and start working on our smaller pieces. Next, we're going to put together a pumpkin. We're starting with the yellow base of the pumpkin and putting the orange overlay on top. Just like with the witch base, we do not need very much glue at all, just a very little bit goes a long way. After we have those two pieces together, we will add our googly eyes to our pumpkin. Once we finish adding our eyes, we're going to set our pumpkin aside, and we are going to begin working on the witch's face. Here's her face base, and we're going to start with her hair. There is two sides of her hair, and you need to pay attention to the two sides because they do have different shapes. One has more of a pointy shape, and the other one is all curved. So you want to make sure that they line up correctly with the side of the face that you will be putting them on. Another reason to do this is to also make sure that, again, the glue is being put on the correct side of the piece of paper you're working with. Just like with the witch base, you want to make sure that you're lining the yellow hair up with the green correctly so that the edge is not seen from the front of the witch. You'll see me checking several times on some of these pieces to make sure that I am putting the glue on the correct side of the piece of paper. Here I got just a little bit too much glue, so I'm going ahead and wiping it off with my brush. that I can use it for the next piece that I'm going to work on. Some of these smaller pieces are really tricky to work with, so I suggest just taking your time and being very patient while doing this project. Next is our mouth, another very small piece. What's important about the mouth is to make sure that you do not put it on upside down, because her smile does go a specific direction, or frown. I guess it's up to you to decide whether she's smirking or frowning. And again, I'm using the extra glue from my brush that was left from the last piece that I had too much glue on. The last thing I'm going to put on now is the googly eyes. And there we have a witch's face. Our next piece is the brim of her hat, which is this orange curvy piece, and it has a buckle. With the buckle, you just want to make sure that the curvy piece aligns with the top little bump that's on the orange piece. Again, this is a tricky piece to work with, so I'm going to go ahead and use my brush and just use that extra glue that was still on there, put it onto the orange base, then put my yellow piece on top of the glue. You'll notice that I'm just taking my time and being really patient with each piece, making sure they get straight and they're on the way that we just need them to be. And there's our brim of our hat with a buckle. I did forget on our witch's head to add her nose, this very small piece of orange that you'll have in your kit. We're going to go ahead and just paint on some glue on her nose. Then add her nose to her face. Oops, her eyeball moved. I gotta put it back. And there's our finished witch's face and buckle. We're gonna set those aside now. And we're going to work on our broom. The one thing I need to check with the broom before I go on is I'm going to take my black base and I'm going to check the direction of the broom on the witch. We want to make sure that we're putting our broom together the correct direction. Once I've checked that, we're just going to take our yellow broom piece and put it on top of the orange. Making sure to line it up correctly so that we can put our glue on the correct side. This piece got ripped a little, so I'm just taking a little bit of extra glue and putting it back together. And then I'm going to glue the rest of it onto the broom handle. The next piece that we have is the witch's hand that is holding on to the broom. And again, you want to make sure that you're lining up the bumps correctly on the handle. So that you can't see the oranges over the edge. And our last piece of a broom is a little curved piece that's like the band that holds the broom together. Now I do apologize, we did lose some video footage. Here you can see where I added all of my pieces onto my black base. And I have one more piece to go, which is the hand that is holding on to the pumpkin. There was already some glue there, so I just have to stick it down onto the pumpkin. Again, making sure it lines up correctly so you can't see the yellow through. We just have a few more pieces to add. The blue part of her dress that just gives it a little bit of an accent goes next, and you just make sure that it's lined up correctly, and then you add the glue to the back. I do apologize here in a moment. The glue is going to be in the way. I didn't realize this until after. So we're going to take the glue that I put on and just spread it over the rest of the blue part of her dress. Then line it up. And the little pointy pieces do point down. That helps you to put her together. Our very last piece that goes onto our witch before our back is the bottom piece of the dress. And it really should have been put on before the pumpkin, so I did have to trim it a little. And you will probably have to too. Just make sure that it fits to the side. And I kind of stuck it up underneath the pumpkin just a little bit since the glue was still wet. And there you have your finished witch. The very last part that we have to put together is the back that will help her stand up or sit on the wine bottle if you choose to go that way. If you're going to use a wine bottle, you do need to measure to make sure that you don't make it too loose or too tight. So you put your paper around the wine bottle, and I just used the back of my paintbrush to put a little indent into the paper so I know where I need to glue my papers together. We're just going to add a strip of glue at the end of the paper. You're going to roll it together to that mark that you made with your paintbrush and just hold it for a few seconds, probably about 10 seconds, maybe 15, to make sure that the glue kind of starts to set. And then it's not just going to unroll when you take your fingers off. After those are stuck together, you're going to add some glue to the back of the seam. I always glue at the seam. And I put the glue on the witch. And you're just going to, again, press and hold for 10 to 15 seconds to make sure that it has a good stick and a good hold to it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed making our witch Halloween craft. It was a lot of fun to do, and if you have any questions at all, just call the library and ask. Don't forget to post a picture of your finished product on our Facebook page. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you again next time.